Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another 2028 election prediction video. This time we have Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, running against Senator Ted Cruz, who I think would be a weak Republican candidate. Polling in 2016 showed him doing really badly against Sanders and Hillary Clinton. Plus, he's just not really appealing to independent voters, like, at all. He's very fiscally conservative and conservative socially. So that's really not going to hurt him. Well, that is going to really hurt him among a lot of voters, being conservative socially. And he isn't a populist at all, so that's also going to hurt him in the Rust Belt states. So let's get into this. He also nearly lost to Beto O'Rourke in 2018, and he underperformed Trump by a pretty good amount in Texas. I think it was like a 5 point difference between him. So he's also a pretty substantial underperformer, which is also another not a good sign for Ted Cruz in an electoral matchup. So let's get into it. Starting off with the state of Florida, I think this would only be like a 9 point win for Ted Cruz. So again, he underperforms Trump by about 4 points. Texas, I still think he would win this state by about 5. So again, a pretty substantial underperformance from Trump to Ted Cruz here. So Cruz wouldn't do that well in these two states compared to the average Republican. He would also underperform in Alaska, I think only winning it by about 9 percentage points against Gavin Newsom. So Newsom would carry Virginia, New Jersey, and New Mexico by safe blue margins. In Minnesota, would be likely blue. Nebraska second would be likely blue. While I think Nebraska's first would dip at below 9 points. Trump only won this district by 11 in 2024, so that's why it moves down to likely Republican. In Maine, I don't think Ted Cruz would do good here at all, but he'd still carry Maine's second congressional district while also losing New Hampshire by a likely blue margin. In Iowa and Ohio, again, he's not a populist Republican. Iowa's economy is also hurting a bit, so I'd put it as likely Republican. Same with Ohio, would also go as likely Republican. In Nevada, I'd put this as a blue flip. I don't think Ted Cruz would do well with independent voters at all. I also don't think he would do well with Latino voters too, so that's another underperformance for him. Arizona is kind of the same reason. I don't think he'll do well with those voters at all. He isn't really a moderate on the issues either, so that also hurts him in Arizona. But I do think independents would go to Gavin Newsom in a majority of these swing states. So then we go over to Georgia and North Carolina. I'd put Georgia at about a lean blue state. I think Newsom would probably beat Ted Cruz by around 1.5 points in the state of Georgia. I don't think Ted Cruz would do well with independents in Georgia, and I think black voters would come out for Gavin Newsom. Again, it depends on his VP pick as well, but I do think he's probably more likely than not going to pick a good VP pick for the state of Georgia just to lock in that electoral college vote. So if Democrats win the governor's race in Georgia, I think he'd be inclined to maybe pick Raphael Warnock as a VP choice. But it really depends on that governor's race if he does pick a VP from the state of Georgia. But still, I don't think Ted Cruz is a good fit for Georgia at all. He's already underperformed in Texas by 5 compared to Trump, so he's probably going to underperform in Georgia as well. North Carolina would put as a tilt blue flip. I don't think Ted Cruz would do well with independents in this state. So that's why I have this state flipping blue. And the Rust Belt, Ted Cruz just isn't a populist at all. So he's going to underperform with those types of voters here. He's not going to win over low propensity voters that Trump won either. So he's going to lose Wisconsin. He's going to lose Michigan. He's going to lose Pennsylvania by pretty sizable margins. So 319 electoral college votes to Gavin Newsom, while Ted Cruz only wins 219. And Cruz is just a pretty weak candidate, in my opinion. Not as weak as Marjorie Taylor Greene, but still, he doesn't really have a good chance at the electoral college at all when he's losing a lot of these swing states by lean blue margins. Only one is in tilt. So if you're new to this channel and you enjoy content like this, you should definitely consider subscribing, and I will see y'all in the next one.